Hello and welcome to the toughest downhill mountain bike race in the world. This is Red Bull Hardline Wales 2025. And over the next 2 hours, we're going to be bringing you all the live racing action as our elite field of riders compete to get their hands on the Red Bull Hardline trophy on this legendary Welsh mountain course in the heart of the Dyfi Valley. And speaking of legends, well, I'm lucky enough to have one alongside me all afternoon. Elliot Jackson is here. Elliot, what a week, what a place to be.
There's nothing really like this event, this week. You know, the riders are coming here. It's the middle of the summer. You can see the camaraderie. They're ticking off these amazing features, 90-foot jumps. And I cannot wait to see what they do on this race day.
This has to be the most competitive field we've ever had at this event. Potential winners can come from absolutely anywhere. Starting with a man who dominated both the Red Bull Hardline races last year. He won in Australia, then he came and won here in Wales. The double had never been done before. This year though, Elliot, it's been a very, very different lead up to these races, huh?
It feels like it's classic Ronan Dunne. You do something that no one's ever done before. You win 2 Red Bull Hardline events in 1 year, and then you crash and you get injured. So I think this year coming into it, he wants to prove that he can do it.
Especially after crashing out of Red Bull Hardline Tasmania earlier this year. That's right, he's going to want it. As is the 3-time winner here, the man who definitely sees this track, sees this mountain as his own. Bernard Kerr, the only man ever to win here in Wales more than once. Also though, Elliot, coming in off some pretty big injuries.
He has the best off-season of his life. He's training harder than he's ever trained. Coming into the World Cups, thinking that this is his year to win maybe an overall championship. 11 weeks ago, right before the first World Cup, breaks his hand, breaks his wrist, both hands are done. And then he uses the World Cups as a lead-up to train for this race. That's how he feels offended, right? When anyone else wins this race.
But Asa Vermette, the 18-year-old junior world champion, has never been here before, and we did see what he is capable of in Red Bull Hardline Tasmania. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was. Only losing by 0.2. His run was incredible to me. I think he surprised everyone.
We couldn't forget to mention the local man, really. Charlie Hatton rides for Atherton Bikes, built just over the back of that mountain there. 4th last year.
2023 world champion.
That says it all.
Yeah, I think he likes kind of being the underdog, because he loves to prove people wrong, and I think that he's a quiet man, but his riding kind of speaks for itself.
Will be going fast.
Yeah,
let's see what he can do today. And every year at Red Bull Hardline, we see the progression of the women riders.
And this week in Wales, we've got Vieira Beek, we've got Cami Nogueira, Louise Ferguson is here, Hannah Bergman, and Kirsten Van Horn. They've all been leaking these features together in practice. To me, it's just so impressive to see them pushing the boundaries of women's downhill. And I think they're inspiring so many more women to come and to compete in Red Bull Hardline.
Well, it's a field stacked with quality throughout. And a little bit earlier, actually, we sent Elliot off to catch up with the emerging star of downhill, the 18-year-old that is Asa Vermette, to find out exactly how he's feeling before tackling his first Red Bull Hardline Wales.
Asa, welcome to Red Bull Hardline Wales.
Thank you, man. I'm stoked to be here, for sure.
This is your first time seeing the course. What do you think?
Oh, man, it's insane. It's definitely gnarlier than it looks on camera, for sure. Just the stuff in between you don't really expect to be super gnarly, like the rock gardens before the drop and stuff like that. It's even more technical and steep than it looks like on the cameras.
And we had another Red Bull Hardline event in Tasmania earlier this year. You qualified first, and then you got second. Do you think that you can take the win here?
I mean, that's always a goal, always going into a race with the expectation of being on the top. So, I mean, we'll see what happens.
With it being the first time, I feel like there's so much camaraderie here. Has there been any riders that you've gotten advice from or kind of followed in?
Yeah, for sure. Just with I mean, all the dudes have basically done it before, and all these jumps. So I've been following BK, G, just in the speeds of all the stuff, and just kind of know the track a little bit.
And this place it's known for these massive features. Like you have 2 90-foot jumps.
For sure.
Are you down for that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, just getting a lot of airtime is always been super fun. Nothing like it, really. Go off and you're in it for so long and fall. It's something where you just want to keep doing it over and over again.
Well, thank you so much, Asa. We're really looking forward to seeing you right here.
Thank you, man.
Well, great to hear from Asa there. Elliot, we talk a lot about the camaraderie here at Red Bull Hardline. It always has been, it always will be very much a part of it. But as more riders have levelled up, more riders have their eyes on winning it, right? And it is more competitive than it's ever been.
Well, Rob, I feel like you know better than anyone. At the beginning of Red Bull Hardline, it was about survival, just making it down the track. But I think as the riders have leveled up, as they've progressed, it is a race, you know, and I think this event, more than anything, is about pushing the boundaries of downhill mountain biking.
Well, Elliot, it is perfectly poised, and I can't wait to see how this race is about to unfold. Before we head live to the start gate for our first rider to drop in, we're going to take you down this mountain from the start to the finish field, and we're going to check out those all-important features for 2025 as we get on board with Dan Atherton and Ronan Dunne.
Ronan Dunne here.
I'm G, I'm going first, you're going to follow me down.
Grand. This is Red Bull Hardline Wales 2025 track preview.
Let's get it, boy.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, dropping in. Straight away, it's rough. So much bedrock poking out. First little line you got to thread.
Woo. Jesus. Yeah, she's always fairly loose up here.
No chill from the start. Moment you leave, it's absolutely hectic. First little thread there. You can feel Ronan breathing down my neck already. Not the man you want chasing you down this hill. Oh God, this chute. It's insane.
Pretty savage. Trying to stop on this. Whoa. Yeah, there it's insanely loose. Want to set up.
So much speed into this fast, hard left-hander. Oh, that's huge. Oh my God. Wrestling the bike down there.
All right. We're gonna try shift the gears. We got the big boys now. 2 90-footers. Hop on, hop off. Whoa! Whoa, yeah!
Oh, they look good. We're going. Oh, so big. And again. Woo! They're huge. Too much speed in.
Into these beautiful turns.
Can feel the burn. I'm hanging already. Gnarly little rock section. Legs are burning. Arms are cooked. Ronan's just chilling behind me. Absolutely cruising.
Woo! Big right-hander. Oh man, that is so good. Absolutely. Whoa! These nearly crash. Yeah, these morning wake-ups are pretty. Right. Lovely rock garden. Huge, just flat. Oh, G-man, pulling on me. Right, I need to pull it back on the boy. Stop talking.
Oh, foot out. Clip back in the air. Big speed up, and then heave. We've made it.
Ah, that is Red Bull Hardline 2025 track preview. Wow. Yes, lad.
So here we are in the Dovey Valley, Wales for the finals of Red Bull Hardline 2025. Alongside me in commentary is Elliot Jackson. Elliot, how much are you looking forward to this race?
I mean, Rob, it's chaos carved into a hillside. What's not to be excited about?
It's going to be so good. The weather is like its very own feature on this mountain and has a huge effect on how this course runs. What are conditions like today, Elliot?
Well, it was a repeat of yesterday. It rained overnight. The rocks this morning were incredibly slick at the top. Strung out, I think we're due for perfect conditions today.
That's right. The course could dry through this final. It's a long way to the top in that uplift vehicle, Elliot. Almost half an hour. Plenty of time to stare at the track. What's going through the riders' minds?
I mean, you can see it on their faces, right? You have the mountain to contend with at Red Bull Hardline. That is the difference. It's not just your race run here.
There's a lot going on. Today's start list was determined by yesterday's seeding runs, and we saw some history made yesterday when Louise Ferguson became the first female rider to do a top to bottom of the Red Bull Hardline course here in Wales. An unbelievable to witness it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to overstate just how fast women's downhill is progressing, and I think it's also important to understand that that doesn't come for free. It's due to riders like Louise Ferguson and all the women here deliberately accelerating the sport forward.
Yeah, Louise be dropping earlier today as well. Incredible to see that yesterday. A great morning for her. Not so good for the three-time winner of this event, Bernard Kerr. He went down pretty hard, right?
Man, I mean, it feels like this guy just can't catch a break. The section's gotten a little bit more exposed over the years. Look at his front tire, slides into a little pocket, tucks the front wheel, catches him completely off guard. He is okay, but he is sore, and he's going to have to dig deep if he wants to win here today.
Don't forget, coming back from a broken wrist, multiple broken bones in his hand. Not what he needed. He will strap in, though, for one today, that's for sure. And check this out. Last year's winner, Ronan Dunne. This happened a few seconds into his run. You can hear the psss of the rear tyre deflating. Not as deflated as Ronan was after that.
Oh my God, that's insane. Like 2 seconds into a run, and normally a rider would have had, you know, multiple fast runs under time. Ronan hasn't had that. So I think today is going to be a mental test. Has he done enough visualization to do that one run at max speed? Well,
we don't have long to find out. He's the second rider to drop in. Who yesterday did we see put down a marker then? Who made to the bottom?
Oh, I mean, the first person for me is definitely Charlie Hatton, taking the third place in qualifying. You have to remember that he won his world championship in wet weather, had a composed qualifying run, but definitely had some speed in sections like this. I talked to him and he said, you know, there's more time here for me, but it's how much do I want to risk it? Being this close to the win, would be surprised if he lays it out there.
I agree with you. Definitely one of the big dark horses, as is Tuhoto-Ariki Pene, the New Zealand national champion, a man going from strength to strength.
Yeah, this is a story of potential. I mean, to give you an idea, he was 0.6 ahead of everyone at Luneville at the World Cup before he didn't bring it home. He has the speed to be the world's best, and I think it's only a matter of time before he executes on it.
But one man they've all got to stop, the #1 seed. Asa Vermette, unbelievable.
I mean, if he does what he did at Red Bull Hardline Tasmania, I think he's going to be just fine. He says that he doesn't like the wet. Wouldn't be able to tell. He can't get enough of these big jumps. I think he's truly like a generational talent.
There's, yeah, some riders, it really brings out the best of them at Red Bull Hardline track. Asa Vermette is absolutely one of them. So let's see what he can do. And let's have a look then at today's start list for these finals. Felipe Agurto, the first to drop, followed swiftly by Ronan Dunne and Bernard Kerr. After those disasters yesterday, the two big dogs coming down early. They could sit a long time in that hot seat. Louise Ferguson going for another top to bottom. The Jones brothers, all on page 1. Watch out for Brook MacDonald, the veteran, the two-time world champion. Dan Atherton, the oldest rider ever to drop in to a Red Bull Hardline. Adam Brayton, another contender coming in after him. Josh Bryceland, Sam Gale, Matteo Iniguez finishing off that. Before we go to the 5 fastest qualifiers. Oli Clark winning Junior World Cups this year. Laurie Greenland from the Santa Cruz Syndicate. The 23 world champion Charlie Hatton before Tuhoto and Asa, the last two to drop in. It's stacking up, and I do think this is the greatest depth of talent we've ever had. More riders are going to attack and race this track this afternoon, this morning.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's definitely one of the best years we've had so far.
And here we go then. Felipe Agurto, the first man to put wheels in this final of Red Bull Hardline Wales. All the way from Chile, this man, his first Red Bull Hardline.
Yeah, and Felipe, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he does actually make some time up here. It's very, very slick on this first sector, but he's used to those Red Bull Sarabajo events, so.
Oh, front wheel pushing a little bit, still looking slick up there. Some rain overnight. Difficult up here, Elliot. We saw lots of riders battling through here, carrying good pace out of that compression.
Yeah, and what you'll see is the riders are always searching for that edge right near the grass.
He's been second at Red Bull Valparaiso Cerro Abajo the last couple of years, so one of the big street race series. One of the big names on that. Slow over the top of there into this near vertical tombstone. So scary. Vea Verbi can actually just calling that a rampage feature in the middle of this racetrack.
Yeah, for sure. So we just had that first sector. We're into our second sector right now. And, you know, the riders, during the week, they do these jumps, you know, they do them at slow speed. And so once you get...
Big kick there!
It shows this how big these jumps are, and when they come off at speed, you have way more than you need for the actual feature, and that is why you see stuff like that.
Pressing off there can unsettle the bike through 2 narrow rocks, and now into the dirty ferns, off the brakes. 2 kilometres in length this course. 50 foot up, 45, 50 foot off as well. And now rolling, tucking down to this first 90-footer, throws it sideways, loses a foot on the landing. Oh, Agurto holds it. Wild start to the day.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He just did a 90-foot jump, not even clipped in. What do you have to, how good do you have to be able to say, he didn't break, he couldn't stop. He had to go, the split-second decision to say, I can't stop, I have to go for it unclipped.
That woke everybody up. So Agurto, feet back in, a few more foot downs as he comes into the rock drop. Oh, I think he'll be happy enough to survive that. And now into the bottom, really long, straight across the mountain before they turn left and come back onto the finish straight. And this one's super technical down here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and Felipe is just one of the most talented riders, you know, coming out of South America, Chile. Such nice body position. I really hope this guy gets the opportunity and the support to compete on the world stage, because he definitely deserves it.
That's right, 4th overall in our Red Bull Seto Abajo series. Remember, that gets going again at the end of August in Genoa. So Agurto laying down the benchmark here, a few pedals in towards this 75-foot finish line jump. Big pull over there, despite the lip being boosted this year. It's a 240 then for Agurto.
I am glad that Felipe went through the finish after what we saw. His heart rate must be at like 259.
Mine is. Let's just watch it.
I cannot believe this. Oh, that is insane. I mean,
the soil, look how good the
yeah,
dirt looks on some bits of it.
Yeah, it's just going to get better. Look at this. Okay, watch his left foot. He has to use his strength to stand on his right foot and come over the top.
Well, not the only Ronan from the Emerald Island to find out that life is a roller coaster. The double winner of Red Bull Hardline last year, taking the wins Tasmania and Wales this year. A big crash in Tasmania, a broken pelvis and back. He comes back from that. Bruised his liver at the last World Cup race a couple of weeks ago. And Ronan Dunne with no qualifying time of work off. He's going to go all out here, Elliot.
Yeah, and will he have luck? And so last year, this is where he made up his time. He came over this crest right here, hopped into this little pocket, and hopped that gap. So he's taking it a little bit easier here, but it's smooth. It's smooth.
He went deep off there, so on the move and goes deep over there as well.
And now he's on it.
Remember a puncher right out of the gate yesterday, 2.2 up then at split #1 compared to Felipe Agurto. And fast over the top of there, Elliot. Really fast. Hard to stop on that big rock and hard to stop in this chute as well.
And this is what I was saying. This is the first timed race run he's been able to get on this track.
And that has to be a disadvantage, but we know that Dunne's only approach is flat out 5.2 up at split #2 then. So, the dirt looking so good, so grippy, gets on that bank, finds that rut on the exit there.
And took that straight line into it, able to shave off a little bit of speed, catching the end of the berm. Hops the rocks.
And he's definitely moving. Front wheel getting snagged on the way, 6.5 up now.
Low in the berm.
50 foot up on, 50 foot off as well then. And these riders, these are 90 foot, but you can see how far they're landing, more like 110 these riders going. Sets up to the outside there as well on that landing to give him a good line into this long right-hander.
Yeah, and we talked about Ronan getting back up to speed. He had that injury, but he was 6th at Leogang this year, only 1.5 off the win, so he is back.
Absolutely, yeah, you're dead right there. And it's looking good so far. I haven't seen him make any mistakes.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Right on the line there, so hard on that exit right-hander not to get snagged up. He carried amazing pace. This is looking good. This is going to be the benchmark for a long time this afternoon, I'm sure of it.
Such a clean run, perfect everywhere. Letting the bike slide underneath him.
Did the double last year. And it's looking good here now. They're 9.9 up over Agurto. So a 205 at that last split. Wow.
Lands a little bit deep. He's going to have to really push, pump as much as he can to get that speed back from that low landing.
And it was only Asa Vermette, the fastest qualifier yesterday, with that 2:29, who went under the 2:30 mark. So Ronan Dunne on this last straight then, coming down to the last jump. It's been an incredible run. Here he comes, Dunne crosses the line with a 2:29.4, which is just outside that qualifier yesterday, that 2:29.06 of Vermette. We have got a race here because we don't know if that track is faster or slower this morning.
I mean, it's definitely more slick than later in the day yesterday, but look at this. He's actually taking a different line. You'll see him trying to get as much dirt as he can, sets up way wide, and then the back end hop to get in the inside. There's so much loose dirt at the bottom of this. Jumps all the way to flat.
He's going a bike length further than anyone else off that drop there. Well, Bernard Kerr then, the 3-time Red Bull Hardline winner, battered, bruised. He came into this event battered and bruised. You can see those wrist braces on there. A broken wrist, multiple fractures in his hand as well. We knew he was struggling to hold on. It's not going to be any easier after that crash in that qualifier yesterday, Elliot.
No, and I think he'll try to be as smooth as possible, but this actually suits him that the track is a little bit slower, that it's a little bit more technical. That way he doesn't have to put as much weight on those hands. And he looks good so far.
He does not override in this top section like he did last year. He came out all guns blazing, and little mistakes cost him. You can see it sliding in there. 1.3 off though.
That is in touch. There's plenty of time to be made up.
Oh! That was insanely quick over the top of there, and he almost got in trouble, I would say, on that kick.
Inside into that, shaving off a little bit more distance.
So despite crashing, Bernard Kerr is pushing on here. He's risking it,
yeah, you
no doubt about it.
Definitely see the speed.
And he's pulled that time back, 0.3 now then. Oh, amazing from Kerr.
Like I said, that top section has given him trouble over the years, and this, the rest of the track is where he excels.
He pulled back a second in Sector 2, so Kerr turning it on here. Incredible, really, to see, Elliot, but probably not unsurprising. He's so committed.
Yeah,
and
he's
he
looking
wants to
so
win
good.
This so bad. 0.7 then loses a little bit as he comes through Dirty Fern, squashes hard up onto that on-off as well.
And I mean,
amazing to see.
He has an average position of 3.3 here, podium rate of 88%.
That's actually incredible, isn't it? So no one as successful as Bernard Kerr on this Welsh mountainside. You've got to work it, you've got to keep the intensity through these turns. As he drops now a few different lines here. He's going to use this rock line up over on the left. He does, on the rider's right there, over that rock. It's a little slower to set up for, but it gave him a good line.
Less of a wiggle, and it has been 1,463 days since his last win here.
That's right, wins in 2016, 2019, 2021. Good correction there. This is where he crashed yesterday. He's coming down towards it now. Is he going to be any more cautious? No, he's not. Amazing, 1.6 back at that last split though, Elliot, losing time.
And we know there's a little bit of time to be made up on this last split because of that low landing from Ronan. Let's see if Bernard can capitalize on it.
That's right, from that last drop, that little catch berm there, gets a few pedals in there, which might not be a good sign, and pedals again there for Bernard Kerr. But yeah, you roll all the way from that drop to the line. So Kerr crosses the line, 0.9 off. He can be so proud of that. Less than a second off. Ronan Dunne, Bernard Kerr, no win for him. But what a ride after yesterday.
Yeah, that is such a win. The mental strength that you have to be able to do that. I mean, right from the top, you could tell he was super committed to be that close after everything. And look at that. Over these massive jumps.
Two of the biggest favourites for Red Bull Hardline Wales already down the mountain. Sebastian Holguin now from Colombia, 21 years old, has the rather unenviable task of following those two down this hill. A front flat for him yesterday in qualifying. His second time here at Red Bull Hardline Wales, actually cased both the 90s last year in a terrifying moment.
Oh.
But let's see what he's got. Another one of the brave Latin Americans that they're definitely not scared of this stuff.
Yeah, on that Invest Racing, that zeroed with the belt drive, which is really cool to see. Really fast. I like that line up on the grass there.
Sneaky, did get up on the grass there. Nice. So
looking smooth.
Looking smoother. I think is probably the key up this top section, and look how in touch he is then. 96 thousandths off only, so incredible riding for Holguin in that first sector.
Sebastian is looking incredible. You know, finding the traction we saw, hopping all the way from the top there. We haven't even seen that yet.
7th at Red Bull Hardline Tasmania for him, now dropping into the track we used from 2014 to 2023.
Did he get another flat?
This is where he pulled out yesterday.
What happened?
And it's another front flat.
Oh my
I don't believe it. You can see the white patch on his front tyre there. That's sealant coming out of that, and it's carbon copy
exactly the exact same spot.
It might even have been the same rock. That is a dejected looking Holguin.
You know, I always say, on a track like this, with so many rocks, so many different things that can catch you out. Well, let's take a look. Look at his front wheel. Where is it at?
Yesterday he jumped over there and caught it on the backside.
He did take a different line. He tried to correct his mistake from yesterday.
He did, yeah. What a shot that.
But
yeah, what a shame.
Yeah, you can't. There's nothing you can really do because you can't slow down. You can't try to pick your way through anything. That is kind of just, you know, just unlucky. It's just racing.
That is such bad luck then. Well, we feel for Sebastian Holguin. There he is. One of our big dogs from the street. He's on the phone. Get me a front wheel up here.
Can I get a lift? Can I?
There's that helicopter.
Oh no.
I need picking up. Mum, you won't believe it. It's happened again. You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe this.
Look at that. He's just like, there is no way. This.
He's shaking his head.
Like, what do you mean?
Colombian national champion and sat on the side of the track. What a shame for him.
Yeah, we'll see him in at the Red Bull Sarabato event in Guanajuato coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, Genoa.
Genoa, that's right. Italia.
I was looking at the results. He got a 2nd in Guanajuato this year. He's been killing it.
Yeah, he's such a good rider. And, you know, proving he's not just a street race horse with a 7th in Tasmania
That's
this year.
insane,
You know?
yeah. He can do everything. Well, I think the South American riders are really showing what they can do once they get to Europe, once they get to these races and these, you know, like a Red Bull Hardline.
That's right. I'm glad of this little break in the action here at the moment. We needed to calm down after.
Grief, that's
what I need to be looking at. A nice calm waterfall after the Ronan Dunne and Bernard Kerr runs we've seen so early.
Do you remember what happened the first run to Felipe Agurto?
Huh?
Did you remember what happened? Felipe slipping a pedal in between.
Oh, and that. Excuse me. Right. Eyes on Louise Ferguson then, the UK national champion, won that in Fort William a week ago and having a brilliant week. The first ever top to bottom of this Red Bull Hardline Wales track yesterday. No stops in one. You can hear a change in gear up there. Doesn't have to pedal because of that belt drive bike. The gearbox can do it all without the pedals turning. One of the big advantages of those gearbox bikes.
Yeah, I saw Joe Brayton here, the team manager of Axis and Tins. You know, and I think just talking to Lou, she wanted to get this full run done so badly. There's a little bit of...
2 years ago, she was close.
Yeah.
Just the 90s, really. I think she was up for it, but they stopped her like, whoa, hang on. This year, she's come and done it, and we're going to enjoy this now then. Lou Ferguson on track going for another historic, the first finals run this would be, a top to bottom for a woman here in Wales. Incredible.
Yeah, and you'll see her, she's just kind of chilling, you know, like taking it easy on all of this stuff. She could obviously ride this way faster. She's the only woman here, so.
Yeah, that's right. She needs to get to the bottom and she'll be crowned as the Red Bull Hardline Wales winner, champion. She's losing the front there, Elliot, showing us exactly how slippery it is.
Well, I think
treacherous up there still.
It shows the nerves, right? Like I think coming into it.
That's right. Finds her way down it. Honestly, that drop there, you know, when you stand on top of it, it is so gross.
Yeah.
It's not a nice line off.
Yeah.
The landing is disgusting.
Yeah, for sure.
It's terrible. So Luke coming down now towards this, you know, rampage feature.
Yeah.
Literally, Red Bull rampage feature, this big tombstone, nearly vertical, and that angle actually giving you a good indication of just how steep it is.
Yeah.
So slippery as well, and then you rock it through that big catch berm. Well done, Lou.
Yeah, and I just, you know, when I watched her ride, I mean, even yesterday, I just talked to her, I was like, you're so composed, right? Like, it just makes it look so easy.
Yeah, turning left now for this big drop, so 14 meters, around 45 foot the vertical drop on that one. Inside line there. Some riders favouring that last year. We think it's actually quicker just to be out of control and hit the berm. Let's be honest.
Just let it go.
Let it go. Hang on.
Yeah, and we saw, I mean, so many of the women ticking off those 90-footers. Hannah Bergman, Vieira Verbeek.
And Lou going to get off the brakes now then. It's mad. These jumps were huge back in 2014. Now they're just the run-up to the step-on, step-off. And off the brakes now. As much speed as she can gather for this first of the two 90-footers. Goes deep there as well. Perfect then over those two.
Makes it look so easy. Louise Ferguson, that is just incredible.
Crowd would have loved that. Road gap next then.
I love it. Just enjoying the run, you know, just hanging out, ticking off these features, doing the first ever full run for a woman here at Red Bull Hardline Wales.
It's mad to see, yeah. So the road gap next, 75 feet, 23 meters across there, and Lou can definitely take her time.
You know what? It's funny as a racer, you're like, I'm gonna kind of chill, and it kind of throws you off because you're used to. You're used to pushing, right?
Well, yeah, I don't think it'd have been ideal to stop there like that, actually. I don't know. You won't get me anywhere near the end of that thing, even on foot, so forget it. But, yeah, another big drop coming then. This straight here that Lou's on now is so technical.
Yeah, and you can see her having to use so much body English to kind of get through there.
Like, nearly there.
Yeah, this is, I mean, it is. Watching Louise Ferguson ride is just so composed, right? Like you see her using kind of the hips to steer the bike, letting the bike work underneath her.
Yeah, she just looks so right on the bike.
Yeah.
Different lines there as well as an inside if you want it. You'll see that a bit later then. Jumping out now on to this finish straight. Last one then, Lou Ferguson has done it. Lou Ferguson becomes the first woman to do a top to bottom and qualify at Red Bull Hardline UK. Louise Ferguson makes history as the first woman to win the women's category here. Amazing scenes. What a run, Elliot. She's done it.
Look at that.
Finals history made then at Red Bull Hardline Wales.
That is amazing. Yeah, congratulations, Louise Ferguson. That has to feel so good. And look at this.
Wow. Nice to see those wind socks looking as limp as they are as well. Look at them. But look at Lou.
It's just insane.
Give us your best ET impression. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that is incredible to see, you know, Red Bull Hardline Tasmania and Wales ticked off.
Yeah, well,
these extreme downhill tracks, you know, they are the toughest downhill tracks
in the world.
In the world, by far.
By far. I mean, so many, you talk to so many World Cup racers and they're like, there is no way that I'm going to ride that Red Bull Hardline track.
And there's some of the other women we've seen in action this week. Hannah Bergman, Vieira Verbeek there.
Cami Naguer on the right side there.
With her Beckham boot on. Yeah, incredible scenes then down in the finish area.
Louise Ferguson. Louise Ferguson, you have made history as the first ever woman to get down that mountain for Red Bull Hardline Wales. How does that sound?
I don't know what to say. I loved every second of it. It was like so scary, but I'm just proud of all of us girls for getting through so many features and just having so much progression. So I just want to shout out Tanny and Harry Molloy for getting us here and just believing in us. So.
Absolutely, we all believe in you. And now obviously with your fellow riders here, the absolute girl squad on point. I mean, pushing boundaries, you've all done that this weekend. How does that make you feel?
So proud. Like, I love you guys, but I'm so nervous for me and for you every time we do something like this, and it's all worthwhile, you know, just challenging and believing and inspiring each other. So, yeah.
Amazing stuff. Well, everybody, Louise Ferguson, we are so proud of you, our women champion.
Amazing, congratulations then, Lou Ferguson. We go back to the top 20 riders to drop then. If you just joined us here at Red Bull Hardline Wales, I'm Rob Warner alongside Elliot Jackson. Plenty's gone on. We've just seen Louise Ferguson do the first finals run, top to bottom for a woman. And it's Ronan Dunne that leads with a 2:29.4. Bernard Kerr right there with him, 0.9 off. And Felipe Agurto, your top 3 at the moment. But it's this man that we focus on now, a Jones that you probably won't be able to keep up with. Turning his hand more and more to downhill, the slopestyle rider. Actually, I mean, before he took up Red Bull Hardline, the roughest thing he would have ridden over was a bit of bad ply in the skate park. so it's quite incredible to see this man's transformation.
Yeah.
And he loves it.
Yeah, he does.
He loves the challenge of a Red Bull Hardline.
Yeah, I think he was a bit disappointed coming into this one. I mean, him and his brother just launched the Mavericks game, downhill bike game, which is
a busy week.
Is super cool. Mountain bike game, I should say. Super
If they're
cool.
not on the bike, him and his brother have both got both ears covered by phones. Oh, Jonesy goes down, slips into the woods, straight back up to his feet.
Yeah, I mean, you could see how slippery it is. One wrong move.
Yeah, take note of that, because it's so the rock here, you know, it's damp, it's got that wet mud on it, and it is like a skating rink. That's showing us just how slippery it is up there. So Matt now just going to have to gather himself up and head into this horrible Rampage feature. All of it a lot worse now that the rain's come down the last couple of nights. We had sensational conditions here for the first 2 days of practice.
Tabletop, he can't help himself, you know.
The inner slope style rider in him.
And he was at the beginning of the year, so he did go to Red Bull Hardline Tasmania at the beginning of the year, looking good over there. And he got to train a lot with Ronan Dunne, Queenstown, spent some time. You know, I was there, I saw him, he was annoyingly fast, actually.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's fair to say that, you know, he really got into Hardline Tasmania, Red Bull Hardline Tasmania. Like you say, trained properly. This one, I know for a fact, he's literally been sat, you know, flat chat in basically playing his computer game, getting it right.
Building a computer game.
Before riding one today. he might be struggling to know which is reality, because I mean, Hardline is so big that bits of it are akin to a computer game. Over the 290s as well then for Matt Jones. Good to see the suspension moving a lot more than it ever used to on his bike.
Yeah, like you said, he didn't get as much time as he would have liked to train for this one, but he was also saying, you know, at one point I really want to give it a go, right? Like I want to train, go to the gym, and like see what I could do at an event like this, which is really cool.
And we'll see Jono, his brother, his twin brother, coming up a bit later. Actually, the more racer of the two of them, nicely through there. Yeah, he got it nicely through there. Feet up as well. Cross the road gap then.
And you might be wondering, like, well, why isn't he throwing like any tricks, like a little no-hand or whatever? He's like, well, I can't hold on.
That is absolutely right.
No.
Oh, it goes down again. He's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah. Got the GoPro.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Do you need a hand?
Throw it in the pocket, maybe.
Yeah.
I think he said, do you need a hand? I think he said yes.
Oh my goodness. Hang on to it, Jonesy. Hang on to it, boy.
Come on, Matt. We're nearly there, mate. You got this. You got this, Matt. Come on, Matt.
What a day. What a day.
Him and his brother both pictured actually last year in the same spot. So back on he goes then.
He's only thinking about sitting in a chair in about, I don't know, 45 seconds?
Let's hope so. It's not easy. It's so slippery, and no disrespect to Matt Jones, who is one of the best mountain bikers
in the world.
Of course he is. Go and check out Frames of Mind, Design and Conquer to see his world's first. He is a brilliant mountain biker, and he is showing you just how hard Red Bull Hardline can be. He actually, didn't he, that if any more difficult, he would not be able to compete. So, you know, it's right on the edge for him.
Yeah.
And I take my hat off to him to change his riding up and be able to come here and compete. Incredible. And finishing in style then, Matt Jones across the line. 5th place for him. Another top to bottom.
Made it happen. So here's that first cry. Well, you can see, and that is, you know, the conditions, it's just really down to the conditions. Yesterday it was a little bit
see how green a lot of the rocks are.
I didn't really get to see what happened here. maybe slipped a pedal. He is
almost
on
did,
flats.
yeah. I think he did. He just maybe hit something, and foot come off, and down he went.
But yeah, it's
physical. It's so physical, this track. You're exhausted. You're blowing. Everything's against you. Yeah, good work, Matt Jones. And now we go straight to his brother, the former banker, now computer video game developer, Jono Jones, about to drop in.
And he's been here a couple times.
Yep, he has. That's right. Former World Cup racer as well, this man. See him at the Red Bull Stella Bahu street races.
That's
Does
right.
it all.
Yeah, he does. I mean, a 14th here, right, in 2021?
That's right. So he is the racer of the two Joneses, that's for sure. And you can see him carrying great pace up here, actually, across the top.
Yeah, for sure.
All big feet down there. There's the bedrock. You can always get just to the outside of it. Look how slippery it is, Elliot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like yesterday in qualifying, we had a lot of overnight rain. Speaking of the riders this morning, they said it's washed the mud off the rocks. It's actually grippy this morning, and big trouble in there, 5.6 back for JJ. But is that mud now getting carried on these rocks, and is it becoming slipperier again?
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's that kind of period where, and we have a much more overcast day today than we did in qualifying.
Yeah.
So it is going to take it a lot longer
to dry
out.
Yeah, that's right. It frightens me to look at the big tombstone rock that Jono just did. You know, it's so green. It's horrendous. Off the 14-meter drop there, and hard on the brakes before this left. Everyone fighting a stop for that.
Yeah, and you might, wonder why these riders, why does the back end step out like that? And it's because you have to really pick your braking point. So if you're, maybe a quarter of a second, tenth of a second late letting off the brakes, you're going to be braking on one of those diagonal rocks, which is going to cause that slide. Once it starts sliding, you've lost traction. It really shows that how precise you have to be on your braking points, finding the pads, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And these are all the things that the top racers in the world sort of managed to do whilst going faster than anyone else as well. Jono cleanly over those two. No other way to do them, to be honest. A little bit of dust kicking up in that first turn now.
Yeah, I mean, it is inconsistent, right? Like you have a section like this, even this rock section that is covered.
Yeah.
So you see the
front slid there as well. It's slick out there today.
Definitely slick.
Yep. And unexpectedly slick, I'd imagine. It's not like a wet track. It's just bits of it are going to grab you.
And I think one of the things that makes conditions like this difficult. Go on, Jono.
That didn't look as comfortable as I'd have liked.
No. Get through where your brother got through. Okay.
Cleaner do there than Matt.
Yeah, one of the things that makes the conditions hard here is that the top is the worst. And so it gets you in this mindset of...
Oh, no.
Oh, gee. Atherton did the same thing. A little caveman off of there.
Yesterday, G was like Tarzan.
Yeah.
The way he got down there. It was incredible, wasn't it? Yeah, using the vines to get down there with his bike.
Yeah, so the top kind of puts you in this mindset of thinking that the track is really, really slippery. I mean, obviously it is, but the top is the worst. So you kind of have to keep pushing, keep discovering the conditions down the track.
Yeah, that's right. And unfortunately, probably you're not going to leave that top section with all the confidence you had in the start. That's the trouble. It'll upset the rest of your run. Well, under 3 minutes then for JJ. He goes in a fourth place, Jono Jones. 18 riders left to drop here. Red Bull Hardline Wales finals. And we've just seen Jono Jones showing us just how slippery this mountain is today.
Yeah, you can really, really tell. But Jono, I mean, previous World Cup racer, I think he's got, 17 World Cup starts? Racing back in the day. This is that little bit of a mistake, slips a pedal. I think once, kind of similar to crashing and then putting your gloves back on the bars. Once you slip a pedal, put your foot on the ground and put it back on.
Okay, let's go down to Lucy, who's with Ronan.
Ronan Dunne, what a great run for you, especially after yesterday. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's just nice to get down on the track, to be fair. It was tough without the qualies yesterday. It was kind of looking forward to building off qualies like you do at most races, but I think I got about 2 meters into that run. It's kind of hard on how much to push, really, with the top being just, the track was running fast, but it was just so greasy. But yeah, it's just nice to get down, to be fair. The run was all right, definitely still wanted a lot more, but it was nice just kind of the way my past few races have been going, and especially Tassie, it's just kind of nice to get one down and not go home on a helicopter, so I'll take that.
Absolutely. Now, a 2:29 time, obviously the quickest right now. Conditions look like they're getting a little bit worse. What do you reckon riders are going to need to do now to try and beat your time?
I definitely think there's a lot more time up there, to be fair. I think those top boys will definitely, I'm pretty confident they'll definitely beat that time. Like throughout the day, I think the track is for sure drying. Or, I don't know, we'll see what's going on really, but I think it's like 50-50. I think it's going to get better compared to first practice, but yeah, and those boys are swinging off it as well. So I think there's definitely more time up there. But it's just, yeah, it's sick. The crowd here is pretty insane. And it's just nice to get one down, to be fair.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations. Thank you very much, Ronan.
Well, really interesting to hear from him. And that time of his, a fraction, like about 0.3 of a second behind the fastest qualifier of Asa Vermette yesterday. Track conditions, as he just said there, hard to tell exactly where they're at. Will they drive? Will it stay the same today? We'll find out. Jeronimo Paez then on track. The Argentinian actually from Mendoza, just over the border from Chile. A man we see in the Red Bull Seto Abajo series as well.
Yeah, really happy to see him here, and he was just loving it. You know, I saw him after a couple of runs of practice, and he was just like, you know, he put his Spanish helmet cam up there.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
So Paez, what can he bring here? 8th overall in the race series, 3.8 back at split number 1. Of course, that is, don't forget, compared to Ronan Dunne, last year's winner, who's come down early. Today, did he get a little slide on at the bottom of that?
Yeah, I mean, you heard Ronan. It is kind of 50-50, like he was saying. Do the conditions get better, or does it stay greasy? Nice. Geronimo looking super smooth.
He came quick over the top of there.
Really, really smooth.
Making nothing of that drop. That drop this year, actually, they shaved an inch off the top and put 2 inches on the bottom. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it seems to have helped quite a lot for that landing.
Yeah, the problem is that it allows you to take more speed over the top of it.
That's true enough. That to make it even harder to kind of scrub the speed off. But wiggling through those rocks there and then opening up now. So much contrast of speed on this track that's hard to deal with as well. You don't want to land deep on the top of there either, Elliot. Riders now kind of almost like scrubbing and then picking up onto that first part of that.
Yeah, it's super precise to get onto the top of that.
So over the 2 90-footers, high speed, and then things get slow here in these turns, and then all of a sudden things get incredibly technical here. Most riders just using that straight main line down through. There is a right line to the rider's right, a little movement of the back wheel there, flicks it over to the left, opens that turn up for him quite nicely.
Definitely, and I mean, that was super smooth, right? Like there's probably a little bit more speed there, but that is one of the lines that we'll see, you know, Geronimo, all of these, you know, heading over that stump, getting the hop up high in that left-hander. Really nice lines, and it's really difficult to come to a Red Bull Hardline event, a track that's this difficult for the first time when, you know, it's been going on for years, so that the lines, there's little secret lines, right, that you kind of get over the years. Bernard Kerr having, I'm sure, some.
Let's not get into that.
Okay.
New line around the inside of there for Paez. Onto this last straight then. Now it's been a great run. No major issues. Jeronimo Paez completes his first Red Bull Hardline Wales. 4th place for him as he crosses the line. He can be happy enough with that.
Yeah, really great run for Geronimo. He's stoked. You see Felipe, they both ride the Red Bull Seto Abajo series. Geronimo really riding good. He got a 5th place at Guanajuato earlier this year. Up on in. A lot of the time well, not a lot of the time, every time they try to carry as much speed onto that step on, step off as possible because there's so much time. And if you can take maybe an extra kilometer and a half through that whole section, there's time to be made up on those 90-foot jumps.
Theo Erlangsen then, from Cape Town in South Africa. Multinational champion for downhill of that country. Took a 10th place actually in Tasmania earlier this year. See the big knee brace on there, riding with a torn meniscus injury. And missing a little bit of practice after, let's be honest, going miles too far over the second 90 and breaking some stuff.
Oh, man.
Yeah, flat landed it, basically.
And you see Theo on the World Cup circuit actually did that knee practicing in Champri. in between some of the World Cups, but he can do everything, right? Like he can ride a Red Bull Hardline, you know, race in the World Cups. He's gotten a 9th here in the past in 2021.
That's right, absolutely has. Yeah, as he comes down towards his first wood now, doesn't stay to the left there, central through there, 4.5 off Ronan Dunne. But yeah, absolutely right.
And you saw there's actually a couple of different lines that you see into those woods. You can either go right, the rock kind of right in front of us. You can go to the right of that.
Oh. And makes a mistake there, not ideal. Is he going to go for it from? Yes, he is.
Yay! Man, it's just so skill, right? He's trying to just hop into that turn, hopped a little bit too far.
Lekker, brew, lekker!
South African support on the side of the track then.
Yeah, having a good time.
Nicely off there, yeah.
And one of the things, you know, I've been,
super
slap
style, yeah. Look at this from
does.
Theo. Gets high on that bank there. There is actually, I didn't know until last year's camera angles changed, about 150 foot drop on the back of there. Don't want to overshoot that one.
Maybe I don't want to know that.
No, I didn't either. You're right there. So, off the brakes now. The crowd anticipating everyone through here. They love it. Great to see so many riders here. And you can see those trees have been felled.
And that was, yeah, we actually had a weather line just because it's so exposed now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Theo, I mean, rides a lot with Ronan Dunne, you know, Jackson Goldstone. And one of the things I really enjoy is Theo's YouTube channel. He has like a bunch of interviews with the top athletes.
Yeah, loses the front there a little bit. People can have to watch that coming in over the top of there.
Yeah, and it's like
Look how slippery.
If you get on the wrong side of one of these diagonal rocks, it shows how precise it is. It's not just about rolling the dice through these sections. But yeah, he has such a good relationship with all the riders. You get a little bit more insight. You know, it's giving away my secrets here, but.
Well, he's got further than he did last year when he did a Ronan Dunne qualifier and punched it immediately out of the gate.
Nice run.
Nice, that is so big, that last drop. Shows you just how fast Ronan was going, 20 seconds off now. But yeah, I think Ronan's going to be sat there a little bit this afternoon for a while. Yeah, maybe till we get to the last 4 or 5 riders.
Well, like you said, and we were just talking about it, it's hard to know how much to push.
Yeah. Whoever does win today, though, is going to have to take some chances. Cross the line then, 5th place for Theo Erlangsen. But I think Ronan has laid down, he's laid down an amazing run. Like you say, he didn't have a qualifier. The difference might be that Asa did that pace yesterday, and now he can go a little bit more. And Ronan was kind of one step behind the gap behind.
Exactly.
Because he missed that qualifying run.
That is kind of, in downhill, you normally do. You saw that mistake from Theo. You build into it, like Ronan was saying. There is a process that you start to get. I'm going to push a little bit more here. What line works? What line doesn't? How does this turn hold up at speed? And so to kind of test all of that in one run is really, really difficult.
Harry Molloy now 34 years old, another Red Bull Hardline Wales veteran. Actually, you heard Louise Ferguson thanking him earlier as well. He's been towing the women in all week, working closely with them, and now taking care of his own race run. And it's surprising, really, just how neat and tidy Harry is.
Well, I was about to say, like, you know, I don't want to speak too soon, but you see a lot of people kind of sliding around. Harry has just been riding so smooth. And you see him, he's running a lot softer suspension. I would actually think that would help him out a little bit here now that the track's maybe a little bit slower, a little bit more slippery.
He should have more grip on these top rocks as well, that's right. And it's a very, very difficult track to set a bike up for because, you know, you come here, say, with your World Cup settings on your bike, but then you've got jumps that you've never seen before, 90-foot gaps that have massive compressions, you know, on the takeoff and landing. You have to take care of that, and you need kind of stiffer suspension. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Asa Vermette nearly running 300 PSI in that rear shock of his. Yeah,
crazy.
285 or something.
Well, that's like the hard part because you would want it to be really, really supple, you know, a slower rebound, maybe like coming into those, like that top section, but, oh.
Hero dirt almost there, huh?
Yeah, well, that's the problem is like you have the top, which is incredibly slick, and then it's like, oh, this is perfect dirt here. Got a couple of injuries throughout the week, so Harry getting the call up.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, enjoying this track. Originally from Tunbridge Wells, now lucky enough to live in South Tyrol.
Another rider that is a veteran of the Red Bull Hardline Wales race, an 8th back in 2022, and he's raced the World Cups a lot. I mean, he was assistant team manager, I think it was, for Madison Saracen, and then you know, running that Nuke Proof team, really just a mainstay on the World Cup circuit for so long. I love to see Harry riding.
Look, making it nice, taking his time, but clean down through there. That little rock there on the top of that lip, in the middle of those two big ones, not the place to get a foot down. Gets a pedal stroke in now as he heads 75 feet across there. 23 meters through the air.
That is crazy.
It is a long way.
That is
for
crazy. Sure. Yeah, now on the Mondraker team. Harry just looking good. Yeah, and you heard Louise Ferguson. So Harry's been working with all the women here to kind of show them, you know, help them with the speed and things like that. It's always so much nicer to have. We talked about that camaraderie in the pre-show. Like, that's what it's all about.
It is. Looks like a few spots of rain perhaps on that camera lens there. We'll have a look out the commentary box window. Molloy across the line into 6th place.
I do see a little spots on the window.
It's pretty damp here today. It's overcast.
Yeah, and that, like
It's going to dry out maybe like it did, eh?
Yeah, way more humid. So you like have that moisture in the air. Harry looking good. Doesn't want to dry out nearly as much as it was yesterday when the sun was out.
All right, well, if you just joined us here, it's Red Bull Hardline Wales 2025. I'm Rob Warner alongside Elliot Jackson, Ronan Dunne leading with a 2:29.4. Bernard Kerr right behind him on that 2:30. So those two have set the benchmark. Two of the big favourites coming down early, actually, and you can see the time difference to 3rd place there, 11 seconds back to Agurto. It might be a little while before anyone challenges those times. The fastest qualifiers still very much at the top of the mountain. 15 riders now still left to drop in here today. It's, yeah, things hotting up nicely as we go back now for around 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes of absolute chaos. This could go either way. Kaos Seagrave then about to tackle this track. Another man who knows it well, a local man actually, originally from Croydon in South London, moved with Dad Tony, moving him and his sister Tani to France, to Morsey, so they could further their careers, and it certainly worked out for them.
Yeah, I mean, Kaos did this amazing podcast with Rod Companion. He just talked about, you know, his transition from racing, being actually one of the guys in the junior field when he was in that category, and you know, what does it mean to kind of discover what you like to do on the bike? And for Kaos, that is doing big jumps.
Oh,
oh no!
Wow!
Okay, I think that
you go and say it.
He went around a pole. He went around the pole. I saw it. I saw it.
No one likes to call out a rider, but I think he did go around the pole there.
That.
On he comes, 2.3 back then at that first split.
Yeah, and really
leave that one to the commissaires.
Really skilled rider, you know, Kaos. He was talking to, we have, you know, Brendan's been a mainstay. Kaos had this incredible section at the introductory too. Yeah.
Just so slippery up there. Full-time free racer now. First Red Bull Hardline Wales, actually back in 2017. He was just 18 years old, rode to a brilliant 7th place there.
Yeah, and he has. I mean, this is a race that suits him, right? He's 8th in 2021, you know, 26 years old, and it's incredible that he can, you know, do this, right? Come out here and ride these Red Bull Hardline tracks.
Absolutely made for
little one-footer, little steez there.
Couldn't resist it. Whipping, scrubbing up onto there as well as he got over the 2 90-footers then, Kaos. Surprised he kept everything on the bike, actually, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it's so nice. I mean, He talked to his sister Tani, and she's like, he's just dialed, you know? And he loves like guinea pigging everything. He's like, I want to be first.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, who would be keen for that?
I don't know.
So Kaos dropping in now. Oh, coming in there with some good pace as well. Different line, yeah. He went a bit further to the left than most.
Yeah, because he's trying to find some dirt, trying to find some traction. Smooth through there, showing those World Cup skills.
I always feel like they found a little bit more room on the exit of that turn, Elliot, as well. They definitely seem to let the bikes run a little bit more inside. Didn't even look like he tried to get above that stump there.
Yeah, definitely.
You'll see riders later in the day battling there a little bit. The more pace you come in with that, the less time you've kind of got to gather yourself up.
Yeah.
It's a little sort of on-off, isn't it?
Yeah.
15.9 back then for Kaos Seagrave. Towards the bottom of the track now.
Yeah, really nice. I mean, like, you can see just kind of the skill that he's got. He just talks about how much he loves traveling, riding his bike, going to places in Madeira, South Africa.
That's right, just another rider that, yeah, just loves to ride. Oh, my God! Big one! And he's up and crosses the line, bizarrely enough, without his... Wow, wow, wow. Kaos Seagrave separating with his bike there faster than someone caught on camera at a Coldplay concert. Incredible. But he's up and across the line. He made it. Wow. Do you think the kiss cam got him?
Oh, my. I think he was trying to get out of there. You know, he's really, I'm glad he's all good. I'm glad he's all good.
Thank goodness for that. 75, 80 feet through the air. He did well to walk away from that one. Wow, look at this, going for the...
It was all good, and then it's like, oh, no. No.
Oh, thank goodness he's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man, look, lifted the goggles off his face.
I think he made the decision to be like, I'm going to run for the line right there. Oh, so here's gets a little bit out of control, just slides just a little bit, and that was that, mistake that we talked about. Just a little bit outside. New feature here at Bull Hardline Wales this year, the little course markers.
George Brannigan then. Let's see what he can do today, actually. One of the riders that definitely can really perform at events like this. George, though, after we're saying him getting away from injuries a couple of days ago here, did dislocate his shoulder, so not ideal.
No,
He's forgotten to put his goggles on too so far, which is another. Let's hope he doesn't drop in without those on.
New on the random goggle company, really cool to see. And George, he decided to take a step back from the World Cup races, and just focus on events like Red Bull Hardline, do stuff that he loves. I mean, he was on the World Cup circuit for, probably over a decade, getting that podium back in the day in Norway.
That's right, coming very close, actually 0.4 off winning a World Cup back in 2012 now. Third, though, last year at Red Bull Hardline, Tasmania. He crashed this year and still got 11th. So, and that shoulder is going to be uncomfortable, but you do know that he will put it behind him as best he can for one run down here today.
Yeah, he knows how to get into the mindset, right? He has, so much experience doing just that. He's really pushing on that. That was that line that I was talking about, hopping over.
He got
that little gap. That is so nice.
So by doing that, Elliot, he misses that compression.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's so difficult to do. You'll see riders kind of get caught up in there, and he's only 1.5 then off done.
Yeah, definitely.
That first split. So working hard at the top then.
In touch for sure.
And carrying good pace over the top of that rock there.
And so that is what Ronan was talking about. So now he has to say, immediately pick up the conditions on the track and understand how much he can push here.
That's right, so you've got to learn, and that can be quite subjective. If you find traction at the top, that's one thing. If you have a big slide, a big moment, that can ruin your confidence. 2.4 back now then.
Adjust in, because they were kind of, I guess, going right to left, trying to get more traction, but it's gotten too rough, so they're just straight lining straight into that big left-hander.
Through the narrow two rocks there, you can't quite see. Easy to catch a pedal. Saw Joe Smith crash out there a few years ago. Losing time then through that big middle section. Goes deep onto the top of the on-off where he broke his collarbone actually in 2022.
Yeah, and that's why you want to get onto that really early. That way you kind of don't lose a little speed. Shifting down there, you saw him, sit down and pedal right there. You have to be in such a high gear, but now the track slows down and you might need to crank out of this right-hander. That's what he was doing,
and
getting ready for it.
Yeah, getting ready for this little right-hander coming up around the back of this tree, that's right. And on the gearbox bikes that we're seeing more and more of, they can do all that without having to turn the pedal. So
there it is.
Advantage, yeah, and there is that half pedal out. George B. Across the road, no problem. Next split coming up now. That was tidy across there.
Yeah, looking really nice here. Exits a little bit wide, a little bit offline. You gotta think on your feet when that happens. That's not where you plan to go.
Jumping into that right-hand berm there, 6 off now. And that little berm, one of the most important on the track, because as you can see, the riders really can't get any pedals in. From there, really to the finish line, you'll see some get the odd spinning, but nothing substantial, and that dictates your speed all the way down until you cross the line, as Georgie B. George Brannigan does now. 6 into the red, 3rd place for him.
Nice run from George.
Mad, 3rd place, 6 seconds back. That shows you just how hard Red Bull Hardline is, how hard the track is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it also just shows, so this is that gap that I was talking about. It just looks so nice, because if you don't do it, it unsettles you, and then it pops you right. That's why we've been seeing people kind of get ejected to the right side of the track into that grass. Really nice line. To do that in the wet is crazy. Just in the air for so long over those jumps.
Joe Smith, 35 years old now, from Cazoose, just about an hour away from here. A man at 1 with Wales, came 2nd here as recently as 2022 to Jackson Goldstone. He's had actually a 2nd, a 3rd and a 4th, and really looking like he was pushing for the win one year, actually, back in 2019 when he suffered that flat tyre towards the bottom. So Joe Smith, very much a Red Bull Hardline Wales specialist. Let's see what pace he can bring to this finals run.
And a rider that just loves difficult tracks. I mean, when everyone else is, complaining about how scary it is, Joe is in his element.
A quiet man, really. Another rider that just lets his riding do the talking. Come through the middle, there gets on the outside, 3.8 though. Too much time lost at the top, Elliot. You'd need a TARDIS to turn around a time deficit like that, I think, today.
That's true. I mean, you mentioned his results. He's actually, average here is a 3.8. He's 50% podium strike rate here, which is actually crazy.
That's unreal.
He's been doing some line spotting for the Norco race division, so he's one of the people.
7 off now, losing too much time in sector 2 then, really.
Yeah, he's one of the people that's really been helping, Gracie Hemstreet get those World Cup wins that we've seen.
Phenomenal. Stays low there. There's a couple of lines around that kind of rock berm there. Riders now, I think the high line has got a bit of a hole on the exit. And riders sneaking around the inside. It looks shorter and it does look quick.
Yeah, it is shorter, but you have to commit so much. You don't need a ton of exit speed out of there. But you can gain some time. It's definitely possible.
Scrubbing off the brake on the rear brakes a little bit into this long right then.
Interested to see what line Joe does through this really technical rock section.
Yeah, coming towards it now. Riders coming over the top of there a lot quicker than I think this year.
That is how you hit this section.
Yeah, and then a little pick up of the front wheel just to get over that rock there on the crest of that lip. But that was clean and fast. And of course, remember, you can make so much time on the slow bits of the track. A lot harder to make big chunks of time on the high-speed bits. Another rider just coming inside that stump on the landing there. Didn't bother trying to stay up high.
Yeah, and I think it actually is kind of nice if you go low, you can kind of turn up into the berm.
Yeah, just at the last second.
Gets you a little bit more traction.
14 off then.
And this last section, I mean, it looks easy on camera, but there's so much time to be made up because, like you said, Rob, you can't quite pedal. You want more speed, but you catch a pedal. If you try to pedal, you lose too much traction. It's not worth it.
That's right. Yeah, they're kind of going through the motions. Joe, not a pedal stroke on this last straight there, and he goes across the line. It might be good enough for 6th place for him. 16 and back in the end then. And a little shake of the head.
big jumps. Joe is super comfortable with. He's got family out here. You know, he's just so used to, and this is that line, turning down and then turning up. That way he can get his back tire in. It looks, you can't quite see it, but right below the camera, there's a couple of rocks that make that turn not really ideal. It's not just a nice left-hand rut.
Brook MacDonald then, the veteran World Cup racer, all the way from Napier on the South Island of New Zealand. Absolutely lives for this event as well. 11th here last year. 17 years on the World Cup. 1 win to his name. That in Val d'Isère actually back in 2012, and it's not gone well for the Bulldog. Has he got a puncher, Elliot? Or? Looking down at that
You
bike.
can hear him. You can hear him. No, bro.
Well, that is Brook MacDonald's day done.
That is so unfortunate. I mean, suffer the same fate as Ronan Dunne in his qualifying run. I mean, you can just see it on the camera right now where you have this static shot where there's, you know, a little bit of grass, and then as soon as you get onto the rocks, it's every single rock there can give you a puncture. Let's see if we can see it. I mean, I think it was probably the exact rock that Ronan hit. As soon as you,
right out of the gate.
Yeah, after you come off of that little pad where the grass is at the top.
Well, that is not how Brook wanted his race run to go today. He's not the first. He probably won't be the last.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I mean, this is the section. I mean, there is a, see that rock right there on that little shiny one? I think that might be the rock that people are hitting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of innocuous. You're not really thinking about it. You just got it to the gate.
Oh, devastating. I mean, especially when you've come all the way from the other side of the planet. That's downhill, right?
Yeah,
I went to Cairns to the Worlds there and didn't even get a time. I got like I broke a frame in timed and then punctured in the finals. I was like,
did you break a frame riding the track, or were you?
Yeah.
No.
So G. Atherton then, the oldest man to ever drop into a Red Bull Hardline. One of the past 3 winners racing today. The further 2, Bernard Kerr, Ronan Dunne, have already been down.
Yeah.
21 years ago, G rode his first World Cup race. Over 100 World Cup starts. One of the big dogs, 2 times a world champion as well. And you know what? He's still so fast and competitive.
Oh man, I mean, it's to think about all that he has accomplished in his career is just crazy.
That's right. Rampage podiums, World Cup overall winner in 2010. Some mountain biking royalty then. On track here then at Red Bull Hardline Wales. One of the original tracks the Athertons built it over 20 years ago, has developed into this insane racetrack now.
And look at how stable he is. I mean, this is where he lives. He's so used to riding this slick rock.
Yeah, exactly that. Brilliant on the brakes, using all that experience and coming in there pretty quick.
Right on.
3 off, straight through the middle of there.
That's a really nice first sector.
There's another line actually to the rider's right, but I think you've got a gap in. It's horrendous when it's slippy like this. And fast down there for the G-man. Tight there as well.
Looking really, really good.
Fully composed, putting those 2 massive wrecks he had. One on a ridge line round here, one at Red Bull Rampage firmly behind him, 3.1 back. The sort of crashes, injuries that I don't think anyone else would have ever come back from to ride like this again.
Yeah, no, and he loves it, right? We did a podcast with him, and he just talks about how much he enjoys pushing the limits.
That's right, yeah. Oh, won this race in 2018, the only one time. 4.6 off the fastest man so far today then. Ronan Dunne with that 2:29.4 in the finish area. I mean, gee, you can even remember him battling Stevie Smith in 2013 for that overall World Cup win. He has done it all.
Well, I mean, the crazy part is he's our oldest winner here at Red Bull Hardline. You know, 7 years ago, at 33, he would be the oldest winner here.
Yes, that's
right.
right.
Just turned 40, so I mean, he's got the speed. he's had speed for so long, and you can just tell the experience. Being able to ride this, he makes it look easy.
Yeah, I'm not sure any. Yeah, that's.
Look at that. He was about to. Did you see him move his front tire?
Just picked. He could feel that was probably going to slide there, and he just picked it up and put it where he needed to. Yeah, amazing. And these things are kind of, they just do them on autopilot, don't they, really?
Yeah.
So, and G on his course preview saying just how physical it is.
Yeah, I was
the
about
arms
to
and the
say,
legs are burning down here by now, and that's coming from him. I don't think many riders even train as hard as G.
No.
Even now at 40 years old, he's a savage in the gym.
He is. And I think with it being wet, it makes every track more physical. Taking that wide line around the roots to try to make sure those roots don't rob his speed.
And then more of an inside actually on that last turn. See him be coming through. So G Atherton then, another great race run here at Hardline Wales. Red Bull Hardline Wales, 7 off. He goes 4th, 2 at 36. He can be proud of that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He just made up 0.2 on Ronan Dunne in that last sector.
Well, keep an eye on that then. That's interesting.
Yep.
So 10 riders to go here if you've just joined us at Red Bull Hardline Wales. Ronan Dunne leads 2:29.4, Kerr second, George Brannigan in third. The man we're looking at, G Atherton, coming in 4th place with that run.
Look at this front wheel. Watch his front wheel. Boom. That would have been a crash for I would have crashed.
It started to go and he just, amazing reactions, huh?
Oh, that is insane.
Well, okay, well, let's go down to G.
All right, G Atherton, a legend of Hardline, our co-creator. How are you doing after that?
I am very stoked to be down here in one piece. Thank God, yeah. Absolutely awesome. Hardline's always wild, terrifying run, you know, but sick to put a smooth run together and, yeah, be down here safe.
Absolutely, and so many people are around you right now inspired to potentially do it in the future. How does that feel for you?
Yeah, amazing, really. And you know, that's kind of what Hardline's about. Me and my brother came up with this concept, you know, 10, 11 years ago. And it was kind of about showing boys what we can do, how far we can push the sport, and how hard we can, thanks Ronan, team manager, and how hard we can push these riders. You know, these boys are the best riders in the world and can cruise down a track like that, no problem. And next year it needs to be even harder.
All right, and then for the first time ever, we have a woman complete it top to bottom. Now you must be very proud of that.
Yeah, Lou, what a girl, absolutely amazing. And all week, you know, she's been riding so well. Not just, you know, taking on the features, but looking so good doing it, and so casual as well. Just chilled all week, and now she's done a full race run down Hardline. It's incredible.
Absolutely, we're so stoked for her too, so thank you so much. G Atherton.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, great to see G in action, and great to see another, I would say, British mountain biking veteran, Adam Bray. Can barely see him today. Weird, actually. Yeah,
I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's going to miss his start, I think. Oh, there, I can see a bike.
I saw it. I see his helmet.
So, Adam Brayton on track then, a man who's never won it, but has been close. 3rd, 4th and 5th over the years. And in my opinion, he's almost the Red Bull Hardline Wales specialist. He lives for this event.
Well, you remember he won seeding in 2017.
There you go.
Oh.
Big kicks there, that compression. He didn't lose too much pace though. The foot's off and everything. Oh, firing it up top then, Adam Bray doing well to make sense of that and keep it going forwards. I went jumps in there, that's massive. And he's only 1.3 off. Jumps those wet rocks, incredible.
Go on,
and
Granddad,
the foot is still off. He's still riding one-footed.
Gas to flat is out in full force today.
One-footed gas to flat. Hope he's clipped back in now. Wild then top section for Brayton. Would you expect anything less? Wow, 1.6 then. So really in touch at the moment.
Only losing 0.3 in that last split.
That was unbelievable riding from Brayton then. Settle it down now. And last year he came down early actually, set a 2:29. The course much the same.
Yeah, I mean, he's on pace, really taking a ton of time off of his qualifier, hopping in through there. He's a veteran here, he knows the lines.
He went hard off that little drop there, actually. 2.1 off now then for Adam Brayton. And a problem for Brayton.
You see it, you see it, it's low.
No. After taking so much risk at the top, he's going to be devastated.
Oh, that's...
These sharp rocks.
Yeah.
Taking their toll.
I mean, you see the... I don't know if anyone caught the 100 on the top of his helmet. 100 World Cup starts.
Another, yeah. And mate, well, not how he wanted his 2020.
Look at this.
Yes,
watch.
Look.
Oh, my goodness.
I tell you what.
That is insane.
It doesn't matter he didn't get to the bottom. That was a winning move. That was insane.
You saw he... Like, I mean, I guess you're like, oh, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's easier. You just skip everything. But did you see, as soon as he came off the top, back in, kicked. Because all of that, you can't really see it on the camera, but on the back side of that it's so treacherous.
The whole track is treacherous. The whole track. The rock is definitely slippery. Perhaps offering a bit more traction further down, but up on that top section, it is definitely like an ice skating rink. Well, Josh Bryceland, a trio of Brits drop in. Another man that has done big things in his career. The 2014 overall World Cup winner. He would have been world champion if he'd braked for the last bridge.
That's right.
On that track before, over jumping it and shattering his foot. But a firm favourite with the fans here. And Bryson's still loving his mountain bike and still loving his racing.
And I think more than ever. I mean, just watching him ride this week, his family's here, and just seeing a smile on his face is so nice.
Only race runs in the last 7 years, getting a little wayward up there. We're here at Hardline, Red Bull Hardline, 2018-2024. Whoa.
And Josh is always deceivingly fast. You know, I always say that he knows time almost better than anyone.
A little stall coming in there. The mad thing about Josh is that he has this lazy style that's hard to see, but he really does relax on parts of the track where he knows that it's not going to make much difference and then turns it on when it gets technical.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you would see him at a World Cup race sitting down, oh, maybe he had a problem, and then he's 2 seconds up.
Just resting those pins.
Yeah. Yeah, super, super cool on that.
5.5 back off the 14-meter drop.
Is it in? Yeah, on that prototype Cannondale bike.
That's right.
Super cool.
And keeps it low on the exit of there, stays on the rock all the way around the inside. But that's right, yeah. Junior world champion back in his career, the man from Manchester.
I think he was one of the original guys that really was kind of showed what you could do with a fast flowing style. You see him take his hand off, adjust his helmet.
7 seconds back at that last split though.
Inside there. See what Josh can do in this technical section.
Coming down towards the road gap now, yeah.
Fast into it.
Taking that main line down as well.
Another guy that is just like, how do you make that look so easy? That's crazy. Hey, he did that in qualifying. That is his line, right? Like he kind of uses that
Pops
as a
the
little
front, like a pivot turn, I would call it off.
Totally.
It's all the motorbike trials he's
doing. Oh yeah, it's not okay.
Different line there. He really didn't bother trying to set up high at all, actually.
No.
It's difficult because if you get it wrong, you can end up ploughing the front into the next rock and end up really like in trouble in that next left.
Yeah, you really just have to commit to it if you're gonna go tight inside.
So last bit of the track then for Josh Bryceland now.
It's good.
Showing us his absolute class. All the riders now looking like they're favouring that real inside at the entrance to that turn now.
Yeah, I mean, I think as it gets nice.
Big pull on the last one. Bryceland goes in as 6th place. Well, it's Ronan Dunne leading with a 2:29.4. Bernard Kerr second at the moment. Brannigan, Atherton, Felipe Agurto to the top 5. Bryceland slotting right in a 6th place.
Yeah, really nice. You watch as soon as he lands, takes his hand off, adjusts his helmet. This is that turn that we were talking about. Sliding it in, getting on the front brakes early, letting off the front brake, and then, you know, off of both brakes. With that exit of the woods, I think riders are favoring that inside just because with it being a little bit more wet, you're trying to shave off distance. You don't really have enough speed to go outside.
Well, the Brazilian residing here in the UK, Roger Vieira, big year for him actually getting on the pivot team when Bernard Kerr broke those wrists earlier in the year as well, and he's had a good season, I would say.
Yeah.
5th overall in the Red Bull Cerro Abajo series, take in a 3rd Red Bull Guanajuato Cerro Abajo. So a man who can, and just impressing me more and more.
Yeah.
On the natural going as well, outdoors.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a fine wine, just gets better and better with age.
Both feet were unclipped there for a second.
Gets back in.
So Vieira in a little bit of bother. Oh, looking like he's gathered back up now, though.
Yeah, you really have to reset your mind here. Put that mistake behind you.
0.8 off only.
Yeah.
So despite that, on the pace.
Definitely in touch. Tons of speed into that drop down.
Did come over, and it's brave to go over the top of there, because once you're on that rock, you've just got to be so careful with the brakes.
Yeah, and I'm really liking Roger's lines. He's inside everywhere, right? He's shaving off so much distance everywhere he can.
0.5 now, though, into the red for him, but still. Still good enough for 3rd place, remember. The first 2 have got a 6-second lead over 3rd place George Brannigan.
Roger is riding so good. You can see him just catching all the entries, going exactly where he wants to, using the suspension actually to pop him to the lines that he's trying to ride.
Losing a little bit more time then down through that mid-section of this track.
Roger, I mean, him getting that call up, he was like, this is the dream, right? I didn't think that I would ever be on a factory team.
He got so far over to the left there, I think he had to pop when he landed. Over that next, like over the edge of the landing.
And like you said, he's just riding better and better. 22nd at Valdesole this year, the World Cup. Yeah. Over the top, getting the brakes in there where it's dirt.
It's been the BDS. Oh, big dab in there for him.
Hey, was that faster? I mean,
more worried about him getting across the road. He's all right. I don't like it when the feet are off just before that, I must admit. And he gets that high line and straight high above there. I saw him yesterday walking this section of track, saying just how difficult this is down here.
Yeah, just, you know, he really had a ton of speed, and he just didn't brake enough.
He had a good line down there, though.
Yeah. Oh, another foot off. Hold it together, Roger.
It's been a wild run. Not the cleanest of runs from Vieira.
Yeah, just this last little bit. Couple of mistakes. I think he can't get back in.
I think that's why, Elliot. Exactly. I wonder if he's done a top to bottom and not been able to get his foot back.
He has. I wonder when he got clipped out at. Maybe he messed up a pedal or something like that. But
definitely unclipped both feet on the very first straight.
Yeah,
so.
He might have rode unclipped for second half of the run.
Good run.
You are going crazy at the top.
7 riders left to drop here then. Red Bull Hardline Wales as the Brazilian Roger Vieira made his way at the bottom.
Rode that top section. You heard Bernard Kerr say he rode that top section insane. I wonder, you saw him pick up his foot. I don't think he was clipped in for probably 80-90% of this run. I don't know where it happened, but even before the 90-footers, he wasn't clipped in. So I think he did those 90-footers unclipped.
Maybe he just wants to change to flat pedals.
Oh my goodness.
Ride them. He can ride them.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. I mean, it shows you the skill.
So from Nelson on the South Island of New Zealand, Sam Gale, his 4th Red Bull Hardline Wales, and a brilliant ride inside the top 10 in Tasmania earlier this year. One of the most stylish riders as well we'll see drop in today, but riding with pace in that qualifier yesterday.
Yeah, and Sam is definitely no stranger to rough tracks. He's one of the more precise people that we have here at Red Bull Hardline.
Just feathering that rear brake over the top of there, gets that little gap out.
And you can see just how precise he is on the brakes. Braking where he's got traction and then letting him off. Putting pressure where he needs to, just like that.
3.7 back though.
Take that inside into there.
Good pace over the top of there, not scared. The big tombstone they have to ride down there.
Oh, that's fast.
That was fast, yeah. He didn't really set up for that drop, did he?
You have 2 options. You can go outside, which sets you up more straight, but if you go inside, it's a better line, but you have to turn off the drop.
4.4 back now, beautifully.
Oh, so fast inside.
Where's he going to go here? Uses that high line.
Yeah, and there's a gap in between those rocks. If you go up there, you have to hop in the middle of the turn.
Well, there might be a bit of a hole on the exit as well. Quick through there.
Quick.
Really quick through there. Finds himself 5 into the red now, though.
And, you know, Sam's been riding really, really good this year. I mean, he was 6th back in the day here in 2022. And he got a 4th at Leogang, one of the tightest races that we've had this year at the World Cup. And, you know, showing that he has the pace.
Yeah, impressive. Just 24 years old. Look at this, working these turns. It's a part of the track, actually, that some riders will let the intensity drop. If you want to be winning today, you're going to be lit top to bottom.
Yeah.
Some riders, you know, they definitely know this. That was fast
really
through there. He was hanging on to that, through that right-hander, but he did it.
Oh, styling out over the big drop.
Clean across there as well. You can see that high line does work. This is fast.
You like whip it out perfect into that right-hander.
Yep, super fast. Whoa. Keeping the gap about the same as well. Elliott, yeah, exactly the same. So good riding in that 4th sector.
Yeah, and he has so much speed down here. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes up just a little bit of time. Actually has enough speed to get to that outside and smoother out there, so you get to carry a lot more speed onto this last section.
Speed tucking down this last straight then. Last jump for Sam Gale, crosses the line and goes into 3rd place. Brilliant ride for him. Just over 5 seconds off. Big time gaps here.
Yeah, really nice. I mean, point 0.4 made up, and he rides with the knees in, kind of controlling the bike with his hips like that, and it just is a beautiful style. I mean, if you can do it, it's amazing. Yeah, it just looks so perfect on the bike.
Oh, the precision on that on-off.
Yeah.
Just sneaking onto the top.
Totally.
It's beautiful to see. Well, good riding for him, and it'll be a good ride, I imagine, for this man. So cool, he should come with his own umbrella. Matteo Iniguez, 4th at Red Bull Hardline Tasmania last year, 5th here last year. This is his 4th start here in Wales. 25 years old. Let's see what Matteo Iniguez can bring then. 3 weeks ago, he broke his collarbone, all bandaged up. I saw it in the pits, but doesn't seem to be affecting him at all, Elliott.
Yeah, no, he is another rider that just has beautiful style. Letting it loose out here. Oh, gets a little bit far inside. Saves it.
Might have cost him a little bit on the clock.
Awesome.
There's some of that style we're talking about.
Riding really good up here.
Dancing into that turn, only 1.4 off then. He's definitely trying. Fighting that Scot.
And
oh, look at the bike dancing down there as well.
And he's comfortable with it. You know, he's comfortable with the bike sliding around. You see him just, drifting in through that right-hand sweeper. Looking down.
Yeah, he's having a look down. No way, the pace is going, and he's got.
Where did that happen at? It's the back tire. It's the back tire.
Almost gotta be. Oh, Matteo. Yes. Oh, what a shame. What a shame.
I mean, he's...
Look how gutted these riders are.
He's good here. I mean, 5th place in 2024, a 6th last year, 6th in 2021. He has so much speed, so much skill. I mean, you watch him ride. Let's see if we can catch it. I don't know where that would have been. Like we said, there's unlimited rocks to hit up here. And when you're trying to go fast, you can't really avoid all of them. You have to roll the dice.
Well, the good news is we're in our top 5 qualifiers, and this man, he could definitely push for the win today. Asa Vermette, our #1 qualifier, hasn't won a Junior World Cup in 2025. This man has. He won the Leogang round from Kokora, just 2 hours north of Christchurch in New Zealand. One of the big dogs in the junior category, but 18 years old now.
Yeah.
These riders, they're as every bit as good as the best elites in the world.
Definitely.
Yeah, let's see what Oli Clark can do then. His first Red Bull Hardline Wales.
Incredible start, like so powerful out of there. We saw this is definitely like the best I've seen that first maybe 5 seconds. That was really, really nice.
Oh, look at it! The bike's sliding there. He had to get on the brakes a bit. Didn't lose too much pace.
Didn't lose too much time.
Oh my goodness me, that was unbelievable riding then. From Oli Clark at the top. Teammate Tuhoto coming. He's green. He was green.
No.
He was green, and now he goes down. Oh, what a shame for Oli Clark.
Oh, that's so no.
Thankfully, he is okay. Oh, man, he was risking it.
He was riding
beautiful.
so good. So good.
So brilliant, the riding at the top.
That was so good.
Held on to both
my God.
wheels sliding. Oh, it's going to be hard here today, Elliot. The track, the rocks are so treacherous that when you're pushing, if you're not perfect, it's going to grab you.
Well, we heard Ronan say there is time to be made up there.
That's Ronan speaking. I heard that, and I was like, yeah, I'm not sure there is.
Yeah, right.
It's like, it's a different thing when Ronan says that.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out.
Oli, getting his first Red Bull Hardline race in. He's still, going for it, only losing 0.9 in that last sector.
What a shame for him, yeah. Doing big things, though. Went deep over there.
He's just been progressing, riding for that, Junior Tools team, the Trek team last year. And then, back in U17, I think Bernard gave him some prize money for winning the championship in New Zealand, which is pretty cool.
Amazing. But yeah, hot in from the World Cup season. Nice through there as well. There's that inside. Got it nicely. But all undone at the top for Oli Clark, unfortunately. Big crash. Oh, he was going for it, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Oh, he's right. I mean, this is the experience. You compare this to kind of like a G, and Oli is just a diamond in the rough, right? As he gets more experience, he'll be able to clean up some of the mistakes and things like that, and he has gotten so much incredible speed, so much incredible talent, so much potential. I wouldn't be surprised if he's near the top step of the podium when he comes back next year.
No, good year for him. A lot of experience, a lot learned this week then. A shame to see him crash out like that. 9th place for Oli Clark. And 4 riders left now to drop here.
About half a second before he crashed. Really? Yeah, you're yellow.
This is that top.
Watch this slide if we're going to see it. Just there, isn't it?
And the thing that Oli did, as soon as that happened, you let off the brakes. You let off the brakes as soon as that happens, because if you keep on the brakes, watch, he's going to go left and just
sends it.
He just got kicked a little bit right into that rock that we can see right in front of our screen. Not a big mistake at all. It's just, it's so wet up there. It's really hard to hold such a precise line at such speed.
Look at the style of the man. Height of the man. Teammate still to come. Laurie Greenland will be the next to drop in. Then 28 years from Bristol in the UK. A former junior world champion, an elite World Cup winner. One of the big dogs, one of the riders that can definitely threaten that time of Ronan Dunne. I feel like anyone who's going to push that time, though, is going to need to deal with this very, very difficult top section.
Yeah. Laurie, he has the most time to make up in this top section.
Back wheel just getting slapped against the dirt on the outside, but holding it nicely. It's super slick up there today.
I would say he's doing exactly what he needs to do up at the top.
I agree with you as well. Into this wood now, then it's catching riders out. He's less than a second off, holds good pace around the outside.
Yeah, so much. He's already further up than he was in his qualifier. He said he had more time. He's feeling really good on the bike.
And super quick down that big rock slab then. So coming up towards split 2 now for Laurie Greenland. And on the move across that.
No!
He was moving. He was going so fast. What a straight. Yes. What a shame to fall there.
He just couldn't get clipped out. I mean, it just escalated. He probably wasn't even thinking about it.
We haven't seen anyone come across that camber as quick as that today.
No, not even close.
And I wonder if Laurie has in practice. That might have just caught him out there.
I think. Well,
and he'd done the top.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess that is, a little bit the danger of holding back a little bit in qualifying. I mean, he's going so much faster at the top, but I think that one, like I said, I think it caught him off guard, that mistake. I think he was like, oh, I'm a little bit, late on my brakes, that's okay, and he was going to take a foot off, but just couldn't get unclipped, I don't think.
Well, let's have a look, Elliot. Goes light over there, yeah.
I don't think he was expecting his back tire to get a little pop on that route. I think he thought that he
was off the ground. He couldn't brake, could he?
Yeah, look, watch the back tire.
Speed of him.
Right there, it kicks him up, and I think he thought that he was going to be able to get his kind of front tire on and get his brakes, get a nice hard front braking, and then just kind of escalated from there. Just a couple of unexpected things.
That is an unexpected mistake to Laurie Greenland. You can see it in his own reaction as well.
And uncharacteristic. I think
uncharacteristic
that's
the word.
I think that's why he's so frustrated.
Yeah, of course it is.
He
surprising and a real shame.
Yeah, I mean he is a precise rider.
Well, Laurie Greenland's day then, it's over. Took an 8th in Tasmania. Well, back to the top. 3 to go then. Can anyone get near that time, that 2:29.4 of Ronan Dunne? If anyone can, it might be this man, the 2023 Elite Men's World Champion, UCI World Champion of Downhill. Charlie Hatton riding for Atherton bikes. They're built just over the back of the mountain he's staring at right now. Local man, lives in Shrewsbury. And a man, I would say, who can. And these conditions, Elliot, are going to be good for Charlie Hatton.
Yeah, I'm looking for him to really put in a good top sector. Another rider where lost a decent amount of time in this top sector, and this is where you take the risk.
Yes.
Today.
Go on, man.
Already
light across there and far. That was quick. And looking absolutely faultless then on that top set. Yeah, surely this is going to be close. All green then for Charlie Hatton. If he can get through this, Woodgood comes in there fast. Straight through there, and he's up by 76 thousandths.
Already making up 1.2 on his qualifier. This is going to be a run if he can keep on this pace.
This is a race run, ladies and gentlemen. Third in 2018, 4th last year. Looking for that first elusive win on this track.
Oh, and Charlie just so fast. That was what Laurie was trying to do, jumping out of there.
Point A up now, nearly a second into the green then. And Hatton straight down there. God, that was super quick. He's going to go low on these rocks. He won't stay high.
Another 2.5 seconds up on his qualifier. This is the run we were expecting from Charlie Hatton.
Yeah, this is it. This is the class that can win you a world championship. He knows how to ride under pressure. 1.4 up then. So Charlie Hatton taking it to Ronan Dunne here today.
Like you said, he won his world championship in wet weather. Really looking good. Running so low into these 90-footers, shaving off distance everywhere he can.
And he knows he'll have to keep the intensity now, working these turns.
And he's not letting up, right? Everyone else so chilling through here. He's still making up time right there.
Another difficult part of the back. Gets a little loose there, Hatton. No bother. A big stall there as well, or a little one didn't bother him at all. Good on the exit. That was fast through there. So I don't think Hatton losing any time there. We'll find out. The next split coming up now.
Came in really fast. Maybe not the exit that he would have wanted, but...
quick through those 2 turns, though, Elliot. This is looking breathtaking now.
Getting right back into it. He had an amazing bottom.
He's kicked there as well. He holds on to it. Surely it's great. 2.2 up there now for Charlie Hatton. We're going to hear the roar from the finish area.
Popping through here. He had one of the fastest sectors. Looking exactly where he needs to be. Up on the grass. Inside.
Sliding through that turn. This has been an unbelievable run then for Charlie Hatton. Gets a couple of pedals in. Here comes Charlie Hatton, and he goes fastest. 3.3 into the green. 2:26. The fastest time of the weekend by far. Asa Vermette and everyone left at the top has now got their work cut out. That was unbelievable.
What a run. I mean, that is world championship class right there.
Incredible run.
I mean, that is wild.
That was loose.
That was sick.
Had to. Fuck yeah, boy.
That was loose. That was sick.
Well, that's what you heard Bernard saying, that, just riding, you have to do it, right? And that was exactly the risk that Charlie was talking about.
That one got me all fired up. I don't mind admitting that. What a run from Charlie Hatton. That was incredible.
We talked about it.
He wants to win the day.
We talked about it in the pre-show.
Yeah.
We talked about it in the pre-show. He's been close, right? A third, a fourth.
And he just pulled the pin. That, with the 2 riders left at the top, that's going to be hard to beat. That is going to be hard to beat.
Because there wasn't really any mistakes.
Tuhoto-Ariki Pene, none that cost him any time. It was just loose, and this might be 2. Whoa, 24 years old. The New Zealand national champion, 6th in Tasmania this year. Doing good things at the World Cups, really just getting better and better, I would say, Elliot, this man.
I've been talking about the top sector. He was 1.2 ahead of every single rider up here, just riding so good.
Yeah, that's right. He made so much time on this top section in that qualifier yesterday, carrying good pace as well. Maybe not the pace of Charlie Hatton, though.
Yeah, I don't know if he's taking the risk, but, I mean, you do have to be smooth. Let's see.
We're going to find out any second now, then. This critical wood
braking really late there. Really nice.
Jumps in. Waiting for that split to show us what he's done. He's back by half a second then.
He's in
touch.
touch.
So he wasn't quite on the pace of Hatton, but he is in touch.
He is in touch.
Charlie didn't do much wrong further anywhere down now.
You know, Tuhoto hopping through there. He was faster than Charlie in the second sector. They almost had opposite runs. Tuhoto fast at the top. Charlie fast at the bottom.
9100s now, so bringing it down. Tuhoto getting closer to Charlie Hatton.
Oh, and you could see he just took a straight line. That was so much distance saved through there, committing to the inside of the left.
A couple of feet higher on that wall ride than Hatton. He didn't stay around the low line there. It's all about the pace, though, working hard through there as well. Charlie Hatton's time goes by 1.1 into the red now for Tuhoto.
He needs to get back into it right here. This was one of his worst sectors, but we know he has the pace. We know he can do it.
We definitely do. An 8th for that World Cup race in Andorra, proving the speed is there. Got to work hard through these turns, though, Elliot.
Yeah, he needs a 53-second sector 4, which is what he's in right now. He needs to hit these rocks perfectly.
See what he's got then. Good line in. Hasn't done anything wrong in there so far. But maybe not quite with the intensity, the speed of Charlie Hatton. And Hatton was so quick through these two turns here. Yep.
You know, and that was what we were talking about, the mindset to ride that really slick stuff really nice into that, ride that really slick stuff at the top, and then keep pushing all the way down.
And Tuhoto super clean through those turns as well. Then a bobble there, though. He's going to have lost some time, surely. 3.4 into the red now, then. So Charlie Hatton will live to fight another day and go head-to-head with Asa Vermette, the last man to drop. Wow.
Yeah,
incredible.
Totally, and that was really just the sector that has been causing him problems all week.
Oh. Well, Tuhoto, he can be proud of it. Definitely in touch for most of this run. He goes across the line and into 3rd place, 3.5 seconds off. A great run for the New Zealander, but not good enough to tackle that time of Charlie Hatton.
Great run from Tuhoto.
1 to drop.
I mean, we talk about, you know, this compared to Charlie Hatton's run, but I think Tuhoto is right in the mix, you know, with Ronan Dunne and Charlie Hatton really coming into his own, showing us that potential.
What a race we are having here. 1 rider left at the top. It's Asa Vermette, yesterday's fastest qualifier. He's just seen that qualifying time get smoked by about 3 seconds. He's got to find that now. 18 years old. The first time here for him. The junior world champion. The last man to drop. 2nd at Red Bull Hardline Tasmania at the start of this year. What can the man from Durango do, Elliot? Can he needs to, he said he can be slow in the first split. He was yesterday. He needs to be good at this first split. He needs to be somewhere near at split 1.
For sure. I mean, he was 1.3 back. So if he's going to play that strategy, then he has to go insane for the rest of the track. So let's see what he does.
Big hit down there. Good pace across there on that Frameworks bike. Runs right around the outside, gets that compression. Yeah, look how calculated and smooth he is. Hard to tell how fast he's going when he's that clean.
Yep.
But this will tell us that he's very much in touch.
He's in touch.
So, just 0.3 off, nothing. But Elliot, he was so fast from split 1 down yesterday. that people do need to watch out.
Well, he was P1 from the top down.
That's right.
Every single sector was #1.
Well, there you go. So Asa Vermette then. What's this split going to tell us? It's been looking good. And it's green now by over half a second then for the American. Oh, amazing.
Look how fast he's going into those turns. Spit out. That is wild.
Yeah, absolutely on the pace then. Asa Vermette now. He's going to get off the brakes in a minute. Head towards the 291st. Quick through there as well. Letting the bike dance left and right. Scrubs over there. Nearly a second into the green. Where's he finding this time, Elliot?
He has this incredible average speed. He's been waiting for this. There's all these expectations, all the pressure. He showed us that he could do it at Red Bull Hardline Tasmania, and he is executing on it here in Wales.
Big whip in there. He held it tight off the landing off that jump.
Carrying speed, but so much more speed.
Later, yeah, this is so fast. And absolutely direct over the top of that rock on the right. Not many riders daring to do that today. Vermette pulling it off perfectly. Doesn't get stalled on the exit either. Amazing. Surely, if he can keep it going like this, he's going to be faster again at that next split.
You can tell the speed he's carrying, faster than everyone through that right-hand berm, not getting caught anywhere.
It's just so immaculate from Asa Vermette then, charging down to the last split, up by 1.7. Oh, surely he can't lose it now. Unbelievable, Elliot. This is incredible.
This is a masterclass by a generational talent, Asa Vermette.
He's going to be the second rider ever to turn up at Red Bull Hardline Wales and win it, his first attempt. Jackson Goldstone the first. So Asa Vermette comes down to the line. Look at the time. 2:24.4. Asa Vermette is your Red Bull Hardline World Champion in his very first attempt. That was unbelievable.
That was unbelievable. Visibly faster, and I mean, he said it, and I think that shows just how the experience coming through. I mean,
how's he got so much experience at 18?
To say that, I'm gonna take it a little bit easy at the top, and then like that sector 4 was wild.
Yes, dude. So good.
That is insane. Look at he's just landing lower than everyone. He just took more speed than everyone, everywhere.
And it was just immaculate.
Yeah, it was.
It was so beautiful to watch. I don't think I saw him put a tyre on.
No.
He is incredible. Wow. All the pressure on his shoulders. Fastest qualifier.
Look at it. Watch his back wheel. Watch his back wheel right here. Hops it in, lets off the brakes perfectly.
And then just forces it forwards with his body weight on the exit rather than stalling out. I mean, styles it. That was insane, man. Wow. Well, congratulations then to everyone at Red Bull Hardline, but it's Asa Vermette that is a Red Bull Hardline Wales champion. And Louise Ferguson, of course, taking that women's category. An insane day's racing. And these are your top 3 then, 1.6 seconds in it. I actually thought Charlie Hatton had got it. Amazing to see him come in second. They'll have to wait again. And an incredible ride for Ronan Dunne after so many injuries this year. No marker coming down at the very start of the day, Elliot. So difficult. Well, let's go down to Lucy.
Asa, Red Bull Hardline 2025 champion. How does that sound?
Sounds pretty good, yeah. Oh man, the run was probably one of the sketchiest ones I've done all week, honestly. For me, it felt like I was all over the place and just like not riding the best. But I was coming across the line, I was like, I'm gonna get smoked. And when I looked to the left, I started screaming. I was like, no way I'm in front, but yeah, I'm stoked.
Which particular feature do you think you managed to catch time on?
Probably through I bet I was down at the top, I don't know, but through the bottom, I was just pumping as hard as I could through the jumps and everything, so maybe there, I guess.
What a year you're having. How does it feel to be you right now?
I mean, it's on top of the world, basically. It's pretty sick. Stoked, yeah.
Incredible. Well, thank you so much. Anything else you'd like to share to everybody here today?
I mean, yeah, thanks guys for coming out. That was an insane race. Track's insane. Yeah, stoked.
So much, Asa Vermette, your 2025 champion, Red Bull Hardline Wales 2025.
Taking it all in his stride, eh? Amazing to see that. Let's enjoy this one more time, Elliot. It was absolutely unbelievable. Mad to hear him say it was one of the sketchiest runs he'd done this week. I mean, it didn't really look it, just looked precise, precision all the way down.
I mean, he felt it as well. We talked about that sector 4. That is that kind of bottom that he was talking about. You know, made up. That was where he made up 0.8, almost a second, within about 50 seconds. So
incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, really nice run.
Well, every year we hand out a special accolade to an exceptional rider who's contributed the most to morale on the mountain and given everything throughout the whole week here at Red Bull Hardline Wales. Voted for by their peers, the winner of this year's prestigious BF Goodridge Rider of the Week award is Louise Ferguson. Well done, Lou. There she is getting her trophy. Let's hear it for her. Some history made by Lou Ferguson.
Well deserved. That is very, very cool.
Yeah, and so well deserved. What a week she's had here. Oh, I may have to have a little lie down after this one. That was. I think last year, everyone kind of saying that was the best Red Bull Hardline we've had. I think this one might have outdone it. That was madness. Charlie's run followed by Asa's, Ronan coming down and Bernard at the start of the day. Wow.
Red Bull Hardline delivers. I mean, it's hard to not have an exciting race here just because of what G was talking about. You know, how do you make something so difficult where there is kind of stakes, there's time to be made up everywhere?
Okay, well, let's go down then and to the prize given in the finish area.
Ladies and gentlemen, everybody in attendance, put your hands together for our third place. A man who rode so valiantly, had the unenviable task of dropping in those first couple of runs. A brave, solid effort. Go wild for your former champion. It is Ronan Dunne!
Well, he won't be thrilled with that, but he should be perhaps. After the injuries he's had, he broke his back, broke his pelvis at Red Bull Hardline Tasmania, came back. I mean, he is so committed. He just wants to get back to that speed.
From the UK, go wild for Charlie Hatton!
An amazing run then. Charlie Hatton so close, showing us his class today. Every bit of it. That was a spectacular run.
He should be extremely proud of that run.
Your winner, with a smile that could power a town, all the way from Colorado, representing the USA, it is the future of Daniel Mann.
But it was the absolute brilliance of the man from Durango, Colorado.
Yeah,
that stopped Charlie, yeah.
You know, he's got his family here, his dad's here, his, you know, Nico Mullally is here.
He's got it going on.
It's so good
in the Dove Valley, because after becoming the first woman to do a top-to-bottom and qualified Red Bull Hardline in Wales, Louise Ferguson makes history as the first to win the women's category.
Yes, she does. Well done, Lou.
And that is the highlight of the week for me. I mean, just to see how well she was riding. You heard G talk about that as well. It's just, she makes it look so easy.
Friends here at Red Bull Hardline.
To see her jump those 90s a couple of days ago and just find her just like down the track with just the emotion pouring out of her. You can see just what it meant to her.
Yeah, it's been years.
You know that's been a lifetime.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. No, it's been an absolutely phenomenal week. No doubt about that. No one gets out of here alive. Well, what an amazing week. Congratulations to the Red Bull Hardline Welsh champions for 2025, Asa Vermette and Louise Ferguson. Elliot, no doubt, it's been just another incredible day's racing here.
Red Bull Hardline is just the greatest event. Come on.
It really is. And as another memorable day here at Red Bull Hardline Wales draws to a close, from everyone here, thank you so much for joining us today. And we can't wait to be back here and in Tasmania for 2026. From myself and Elliot, it's goodbye.